So the function f of x is given. F of x equals x squared minus 3. At first we need to find the f inverse. Part B, we have to sketch this one, state its domain. So the thing is, we know the domain for the original curve, right? We know the domain for the original curve. So it means if we just use that information, the range of this curve should be greater than 0, right? Okay, so let's start part B, where we have to sketch this curve at x-axis y 0. So we will get x equals minus 3 at y-axis x 0, so that will give us root 3. So the sketch for root over x is like this. Okay, so we have a cutting point over here, so this should be like this. Since we have a root, right, so we have both the positive and negative parts. This is above the x-axis, that's the positive part, and the below x-axis portion is for the negative one. The thing is, we were mentioned that x was greater than 0, so it means y has to be greater than 0. So we have to work with the positive part of the curve only. So this is the portion we will be working with. Okay, so I am removing the negative portion. This coordinate was minus 3, this was root 3. And just by looking at this sketch, we can say that x is always greater than minus 3, as in at the right side of this point. So x is greater than minus 3. So that's the domain. Using this information, we knew that y is greater than 0 for this sketch. And you can even cross-check this whole thing by sketching your original f of x equation. So f of x here is basically a quadratic graph, and minus 3 means it will be 3 unit downward, right? So minus 1, minus 3, and x was greater than 0, so it means we have to discard the negative x portion, which is at the left side of the y-axis. So this is the final portion that we need. X is greater than 0, and just by looking at this portion, we can say that the y is greater than minus 3. This is the lowest point, so this is the minimum point. Y has to be greater than minus 3. So for the original graph, x was greater than 0 and y is greater or equal to minus 3. This is where you can cross check. So for the inverse one, x is greater than or equal to minus 3. And if we sketch this whole thing here, that's how it should look like. Okay, so it's actually the reflection about y equals to x line.